Day 2 of Ypres enjoying slightly better weather conditions than day 1, but still leaden skies overhead.
30, hook loose, 60 plus, 50, hook left 7 right, 150, turn loose, square
2011 production car world champion Hayden Paddons chasing a spot on the podium in the Simtech Racing Ford Fiesta S2000, but on stage 14 his rally comes to an end after a high-speed spin.
5 right can open, 50, left 60 plus cut, hook left 7 right, 200, hook 5 left late, 80, hook flat 6 right plus opens long, 120, hook 5 right tightens in, 30, hook flat 6 right.
On the first loop of stages on day 2, Craig Breen moved back up to 3rd after taking 4 stage wins in a row. Now the battle is on to try and overhaul Brian Bouffier and take 2nd.
Slowing, slight left over crest 50, stop up crest only 30, turn square right, plus. And flat 1 right, 120, slight right over big jump into crest 30, slowing 2 right plus 40, early slow 5, plus keep in over bump, and slight left and crest and 2 right, 80, flat 1 left over crest, stop up 40, 1 right, 100.
Heading into midday service, Freddie Loix is firmly in control, the local hero boasting a comfortable lead.
Even rechts minborduur op sporen, links 90 coupeer naar voor, op 50, sporen, rechts 120 coupeer naar voor, 75, rechts, hammersprint.
Freddie Loix may be celebrating 20 years in Ypres, but this driver is competing here for the very first time.
Hi, my name is Pontus Tidman. I'm 22 years old and coming from Sweden. This year I drive the junior WRC, and still we're leading the class and are here in Ypres to do some tarmac training.
Well, the young Swede's highly focused, extremely committed, working hard to try and get a factory drive. And he gets advice and help from his stepfather, Henning Solberg.
Actually, I'm quite good to have a feeling for the car and setup. Got a lot of help from Henning and Petra and learn, take the best from them and from some other drivers. So that's one good thing. And then another thing, I think it's not often I go off the road. That's the two good thing.
Reading the notes alongside Pontus is Ulla Floen, former co-driver for 2-time IRC champion and rising WRC star Andreas Mikkelsen. So let's let him compare Pontus with Andreas.
He have a very, very good cars feeling. Andreas have the same. But Andreas, I hope you're not watching this, but so far when Pontus is on your age, you was for some years ago, Pontus is using the brain before the throttle, more than you.
And he does a great job as well in Ypres, taking 10th place in the highly competitive two-wheel drive cup. It's local driver Belgian Xavier Baunet who triumphs in the two-wheel drive category in his 208 Peugeot R2. Dutch youngster Timo van der Marel ends 2nd in the class, running a Ford Fiesta R2. In his Renault Twingo, young Finn Max Vatanen has his very first taste of tarmac rallying. Yes, I know you're all asking. It is indeed that Vatanen. Father Ari here to support him.
Wrinkles. Can you some Photoshop, please? No wrinkles, or some less wrinkles.
But Ari is not interfering.
Actually, Dad tried to have a bit of distance because you have to learn by yourself. There's no manual book that you read in order to learn. You have to learn it really by yourself and driving. So he tried to keep a bit of distance because, of course, there's always some pressure between your dad and the son, especially when my daddy was a ex-world champion. So he keeps his own distance.
It's very tough for father when you're waiting at the end of a special stage and well, the noise should be now. Is he there? Is he coming? You know. Now I realize how difficult the life of my wife has been over the last few decades. When you're a father, you are in a way too close. I think the wise thing is that you try to stand back a little bit. He has his own life. He's not Ari Vatanen, he's Max Vatanen. And of course, name gives him a certain pressure, but it also gives many opportunities.
Well, let's see if he's a chip off the old block. Well, there's another R5 car running here in Ypres. Stay with us and find out a little bit more. This is the second new generation R5 car running in Ypres. It's the Ford Fiesta R5, and at the wheel, WRC star Thierry Neuville.
Really impressed about the car, especially about the brakes and the chassis. It's very competitive. Okay, the engine, it feels more like a S2000 engine. In low revs you have not so much torque, but then once you are over 2,500 revs, then you feel like the torque is very good, and okay, it's not as fast as a WRC when you see the engine, but on the chassis it's very competitive, and you really can compare it with a WRC car.
The great thing for the competitor is that it's going to be a very, very cost-effective car. We're looking to give a 2,000 kilometre sort of guarantee with the engine, the transmission. What you have to use is a lot more standard parts on this car. It's similar to a WRC car, but it's all new. All the braking systems new transmission.
Like the Peugeot 208 T16, the Fiesta R5 ran as a course car in Ypres, and M Sport keeping a close eye on Neuville's times.
Ypres was a very special rally. You have so many changes of grip, of tarmac, of bumpy and smooth roads, so it's difficult to get a perfect setup, but all what I can say is I feel comfortable on every kind of road, and yeah, the times you are setting are very, very competitive. I think I would be leading now the rally then more than 1 minute in front of the other, so this is a good sign.
A good sign indeed. The Fiesta was homologated on the 1st of July. Andreas Eigner is fighting for glory in the Production Cup, but he's under pressure from local driver Andy Lefebvre. And a little slide in the forest. Eigner crashes on stage 10. The Stoll Racing Subaru is damaged at the left rear. And there's more misery to come. Stage 11 and a high-speed puncture. A front left blowout. Now, frustrated, Eigner has to change the wheel on the road section. He ends up in second in the Production Cup, but he still leads the Production Cup drivers' standings. Ypres was a killing field for German Boniface in the front-wheel drive Renault Megane. So difficult to find grip on the dirty roads, and on top of that, he had to do a couple of stages without an intercom. Almost a disaster waiting to happen. But Germain got the car to the finish safely. Finished 5th in a Production Cup. It was a Belgian battle for 4th overall. Andy Lefebvre on the left, Danny Van Est on the right. Local hero Andy Lefebvre took victory in the Production Cup after Eigner's misfortune, but the Flemish driver wanted more, chasing 4th overall at the wheel of his Lancer R4, run by Dutch tuner Jasper van der Heuvel. Going into the last loop of 2 stages, Lefebvre was 5th, 6.5 behind Van Est. And Van Est feared the top speed of the Mitsubishi. His Peugeot tops out at 175 kilometres an hour, the Mitsubishi around 200. On the penultimate stage, Van Est 1.4 seconds faster than Lefebvre, heading for the last stage with an advantage of 7.9 seconds. But on the very last stage of the event, the Peugeot catches fire. Fire crews arrive quickly, but there's nothing they can do. The car is gutted, though the crew are okay. And believe it or not, on the same stage, another car also catches fire. Mikko Painenen's Fiesta S2000. Because of the dual infernos, the stage was stopped. Well, they say it's an ill wind that blows no good. That last stage, the famous Hollebecker stage, almost 30 kilometres long, and the last chance for Craig Breen to close the gap of 31 seconds on second place Brian Bouffier. It seemed an impossible ask, but you never know, and the Irishman gave it his all. But before the stage stoppage, he went off into another of Ypres' legendary ditches. He struggled to find a way out, finding a culvert instead to block his way. And despite the aid of spectators, he was stuck for some while. But he lucked in. The stage was cancelled, he took third overall. After a difficult start to the rally, Brian Bouffier upped his rhythm on the second leg to fend off the charging Irishman. He finally secured second place, and that hard run to silver earned him the Colin McRae ERC flat-out trophy. Well, his co-driver won last year. This year, she finished second and got her hand in the ERC Colin McRae trophy. But it was a flawless display again from start to finish by Freddie Loix and Fred McLeod. An 8th win, a record for Loix.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I had a fantastic feeling already on the shakedown Thursday. The speed was going. The speed was very good, and I kept that speed until the end of the second day. So it was fantastic.
It's past Freddie's third victory with Skoda and the fourth triumph in a row for Skoda here in Ypres. So Loix topping the table once more, Bouffier in second, Craig Breen claiming third position ahead of the Belgian battle for fourth. Well, they've been greeting winners for many years here in Ypres. They know how to put on a celebration, especially when it's a local hero, Freddie Loix, winning an 8th Ypres rally after the first half of the season. Jan Kopecky leads the championship, 32 points ahead of Craig Breen, with Bouffier third in the standings. But for the moment, the sun is shining for Freddie Loix. And that was the Ypres rally with ups and quite a few downs. Next time out, the Sibiu rally in Romania. You can see all the action on Eurosport.